Hi, what I'm going to take you through here today is how to hook up Google Analytics to your WordPress blog. This is our site, hit subscribe, and there's also going to be an embedded frame in the blog post we're writing for this, so you might be familiar with the site already. But anyway, I'm not going to get too caught up in that at the moment because it's honestly not super important. The issue here is that here at Hit Subscribe, we have our site, and as you can see here, we have this nascent blog. And so far, I have not gotten around to actually hooking up the Google Analytics for Hit Subscribe. And in the post, I'm going to detail more about why that's important. But suffice it to say, Google Analytics is going to tell you about how many visits you're getting, where the people are coming from, demographics, in as much as it can collect data like that. And that's really valuable information for you to know as a blogger for whatever purposes. If you're looking to build your audience, you obviously want to know if you're growing that way. And it also helps with e-commerce and business concerns as well. So I'm not going to get too far into that. I'm more going to get to the point of how to do this. Conceptually speaking, there are two things that are going to be of interest. There is actually the Google Analytics part, and then there's the part where you're going to tell Google about your blog, and you have to get those two things to kind of work and hook in together. So it's really a permissions issue, if you will. The first thing to do here is to go to Google Analytics. And I actually have a few different properties here for which I have analytics. The one that's going to come up is my consulting and site and blog, which is DeadTech. And that's not really what we're interested in today. So you can see this is what Google Analytics looks like. It gives you a dashboard, how many people are on DeadTech right now, etc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to admin, and I want to create an account. So I'm going to go here and look at the sites that I have access to, and then I'm going to create an account. And we're going to call this account Hit Subscribe. And now I have to actually go here and give the exact address of the website. And there it is. And, oh, actually, I'm sorry. I want to do that here. And they have that already taken care of for me. So I'm going to call the website also Hit Subscribe. I actually don't remember. We'll see if, I don't remember if this is going to be, well, we'll see what happens. Let's see, the industry category. I'm going to go with, is there something about marketing? You know what? Everything I do is kind of related to computers, so I don't know that that's super important. And then let's see, I'm going to pick, this is the time kind of most associated with the website. Our business is technically located in Michigan, although we travel a lot, so I'm going to pick Eastern time. That's going to have to do with when days roll over for the purposes of collecting metrics by the day. Data sharing, sure, I wouldn't worry too much about all this stuff. And then what we're going to want to do is get a tracking ID. And that is going to become important when it comes to hooking things up on the WordPress side. So I'm going to accept that message, and then I get this tracking ID. Now, I'm going to leave this here for a moment, and I'm going to go back over here on the Hit Subscribe side and go to the dashboard. And there are a variety of ways you can do this. I am going to take you through the one that I have used with other blogs and the one that I prefer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new plugin. And the name of the plugin is Monster Insights, and what we should see is a an analytics plugin. There we go. So Google Analytics for WordPress by Monster Insights, that's the guy we want. So let's go ahead and install it. Now it's installed. WordPress then is going to want us to activate the plugin, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to wait a second for it to activate, and now it's saying, okay, you're active. Oh, these are plugins that I need to update on the site, but let's do that later. So I'm going to go to this link it's giving me saying, hey, please configure your Google Analytics settings. I am going to then authenticate with the Google account. And the idea here is this is where I'm syncing these two things up. Let's see. So I just paused this briefly and noticed something interesting. It might be good that you're watching this video in case you have this problem. I don't know if it's because of Chrome or what, But if it looks to you like you can't do anything from here, that's because it looks to me that, well, I mean, that's because clearly it looks like you can't. But undeterred, I, through playing around while we were paused, discovered something. Here is what this is actually supposed to look like. So there's this authentication here, and there are these lovely hills at the bottom, and then there's this cancel, and there's this next. If I go back here, you start to wonder, hey, why don't I have that? Maybe you wait a little, should it come up? But it doesn't. As it turns out, if you can, there it is. I have no idea why it's doing that. Should probably submit a bug report to these guys, but if you see that, I don't know if it's my version of Chrome or some kind of plugin that I've got. Maybe it's ad block or something. Actually, that's kind of interesting. If I were inclined to do more experimentation here instead of doing an instructional video, I would actually disable ad block and see if that's what was causing it. Whatever the case may be, here's the beautiful version that you're supposed to see. And then back over here is the version that you actually see. So let's go and hit this elusive next button, and there it is again. And then we want to click to get the Google code here, and I'm going to get it from this account that I've been using, which is my account here. This is what I use for all of my Google Analytics. I'm going to tell it to allow this, and it's going to give me this code, which I'm going to paste in, and this is its form of authentication. Now I'm going to go find this goofy next button, and now it wants to hook up with what I set up here in the beginning, which is this hit subscribe account. That's why we did that. So basically, I'm going to click OK and then next, and then I should be good. We've got Google Analytics hooked up. The idea, kind of to recap, with what we're doing is you're going to install this plugin on your WordPress site, and then Google Analytics is associated with an actual Google account that you have. So kind of all this rigmarole here was basically to make WordPress and Google both understand that I'm giving the other one permission to do stuff. So I went and I created this hit subscribe property. And then I actually have to go in and tell WordPress, hey, I created this property over here in Google. For keeping track of the data associated with the hit subscribe, I have to tell WordPress using this plugin, yes, this is my Google account. That's what all this authentication was. So if you follow these steps, hopefully you won't have the same kind of weird issues with the plugins UI that I did. But you know, even if you do, now you see how to kind of operate around it. But it's really pretty straightforward. So you just kind of set these two quick things up with wizards, and then you connect them, and that's all there is to it. So if you are interested in seeing this post, it'll actually be active on this Hit Subscribe account's blog if you came here from YouTube. So you can see a little bit more about why you want to set up Google Analytics and some of the things you can do with it, etc. If you go to hitsubscribe.com and check that out. So thank you for watching.